You wait a week, show them an upgrade, send an email with pictures and pricing on the car one model up, then go over the details, ask for an appointment to go over the details. Then you call and invite the customer to another brand event. There's another one coming up, we already talked about that. Day 40. You call and you talk to them about their hot button, whatever their hot button was, APES, A-P-E-S. Hey, you know, I was sitting here, it's 40 days down the road. I remember us demoing that, and I remember how much you appreciated, respected, liked, loved, wanted the 5.7 liter Hemi motor. Are you still banging around town with your 4-cylinder? And get it back, because at 40 days, what's wore off? The emotions. So you're going to try to re-tie down what they were initially emotional about. Does that make sense? It's all very scientific. But scientific is like the way I want it done. So, day 50, you offer something free to your customer, sweeten the deal. Hey, we just got some awesome all-weather floor mats back in parts. I talked to my manager, and he's allowing me to throw in for my customers only a free set with all purchases. I bet you we could even honor that same old deal and see what happens. Sometimes it's just a carrot, you know, just a little extra. Let's see, what's the next one? Day 60, call your customer and let them know that you'll be in their area. Ask them if you can stop by for coffee. If not, buy them Starbucks. Wash, rinse, and repeat. We already talked about this one. But the personal visit, getting face-to-face, belly-to-belly with someone, hey, I'm glad to see you. I'm glad you came in and showed that. I brought that because I wanted to show you one other option. If you could just come with me, I'd love it. And taking them out the door and re-demoing your product. How powerful is that? You think that, have they ever had another car salesman that looked right, that acted right, that was professional, didn't smell like smoke or have some broccoli in their teeth, that didn't wear plaid pants? You know, no offense to Roger, that's what if that happened.
That's funny. Inside joke.
I mean, if that have they ever had a salesperson of your quality, your caliber, show up at their office or their place of business or their place of home or place with their residence? Have they ever had that happen?
They'll always remember it.
Have they ever had it happen before?
No.
Absolutely not. I'm looking at professionals dealing in a pond worth of amateurs. It's easy to dominate. Don't compete with these amateurs. If it's resources that you need, come and see whoever your GM is. We ain't worried about resources. If you really, truly on board about being great, I'm talking awesome, above board, game-changing, dominating, company-changing, automobile professionals, there's not a resource that we won't provide for you, I promise. Day 60, call your customer and let them know that you'd be in their area. That's what I just did, sorry. Day 75, tell them a story that make them laugh or think about you. I did the whole wide world close. It's an old, hokey close from years ago that nobody taught, but it was hokey enough and funny enough that when I'd follow up with somebody 2.5 months later, I'd do the whole wide world close. Just say I had a nice family in, they were looking at a minivan. They wanted the minivan. I'd call them, ask them how they were doing, ask them if they have any repeats or referrals for me, and say, hey, before I get off the phone, I'm gonna tell you a quick story. Follow? You just told them you're gonna get off the phone. As soon as you tell them the story, what are they gonna say? Yeah, tell me the story so you get off the phone, right? I'd say, I remember when you came back in and you were just a really nice family and you were looking for a minivan. Is that right? They'll say, yeah, that was right. I said, it reminded me so much of when I was like 6 or 7 years old and I wanted to play ball with my grandpa. And he was sitting in his lazy boy and I went up to him and I said, Grandpa, can we play ball? He says, not right now. Not right now. So I ran, I played with my Tinker toys, my Legos, whatever I had at the time. Come back in 15 minutes and said, Grandpa, can we play ball? He's telling me the same thing that you're telling me now. Not right now. So I went and grabbed, played outside, made a bud pie or something like that, come back in, finally said, Grandpa, we've got to play ball. So he's reading a magazine, sitting in his chair, he rips out this piece of magazine, it's a picture of the earth. And he rips it up into tiny little pieces. And he put it in my hand, my little bitty hands, and said, as soon as you can tape that all back together, I'll play ball with you. It took me less than 5 minutes. And I had it all back together, and I took it back and said, Grandpa, let's play ball. And he says, my goodness, that's incredible. How did you do that? And I said, well, on the back of that picture of the world was a nice young family in a minivan. And when I put them together, the whole world fell into place.
That's good.
And every time they'd laugh at me, tell me that I was crazy, and then come buy my car. Not every time, but it did work repeatedly. So don't ever discount. That's a story. That's one you can go to. You can go to. There's any number of stores you can go to. Day 90. Go to your manager. If it's me or Jim Adams, Jason Chambers, any of the sales manager or finance manager, go to your manager and do not leave their immediate field of vision until they make a phone call for you to that customer. No ifs, ands, or buts. Come hell or high water. Is that what they say? 90 days, manager call. Day 100, I did this for a long time. People loved it. Call them, email them, and then mail them. 8 minutes.
Or we run out of video.
Oh, sweet. Well, I'll go fast. We'll do this fast. So, regardless. I would email them and mail them. It doesn't work with every customer. You got to know your customer to make this work. But I'd send them a $1 lottery card. I'd send them a mail and an email and a text saying, hey, I got you something. I dropped it in the mail. Be looking for it. And then I could write anything handwritten I wanted, saying thank you for the opportunity to show you your car. I know this might not have been the one, maybe the next one is. I'm here to help you. Please let me know, etc. Put your business card in there and put a $1 lottery card. And what happens if even if they scratch $10?
They're calling it.
They're calling you back. You'll never guess what happened. So, day 120, you call your customer, let them know that you'll be in their area, that you'd like to buy coffee for them. Maybe come to Starbucks. Lattes are on you. Another personal visit. Try. And if you don't get there, it's okay. But you call and tell them that you would like to get there. Day 150, you send them a special offer. Maybe there's 0% came out, something like that. Day 180, send them an article that's compelling. It doesn't even have to be about cars. Mine was one about goal setting that I always sent. I know that one of your goals was to get into a new car for your family. Here's a really interesting article on goal setting. Let's go ahead and check one off your list. Next one, 210. Find and send a piece of information that reminds you of the customer. Another article, video, picture, etc. Right there at this point, I also typically take that picture that I got when I was following up with them and like Photoshop them in a car. But that's just, not everybody can do that.
He's a computer guy, I can't do that.
But I mean, I make it personal and get it to them and say, hey, can you see yourself driving this?
Oh my gosh.
You know.
If not, here you go.
So, next, when you call your customer, tell them that you're sorry that you did not follow up enough, that you didn't get them enough info, and that you weren't nice enough. Imagine if you've made all this effort at this point in your day 220, and you call up and say, hey, Bob, Betty, I just want to call and apologize from the bottom of my heart that I haven't followed up with you as well as I should have. I didn't provide you enough information for you to make a great decision. And that, I just wasn't your cup of joe. You think it's going to start a dialogue? It'll start a dialogue.
A salesman apologized to me?
Day 270, I have these thinking of you things that I used to send, like a little chocolate bar, and I send them candy. Come on. Does this sweeten the deal enough? Is what it says. Does this sweeten the deal? Day 300, call and ask your customer if they'd be willing to speak at your work. Tell them you'd like to have a person of influence come speak at your sales meeting. I've had a number of real estate agents that end up buying cars from me, other small business owners, people that have particularly good customer service. I've had them come down and speak at the sales meeting, give us an opportunity to get to know them a little bit better, and sort of ties them back to the dealership long-term. Day 330, call and ask your customer for a testimonial about the dealership. I know you haven't bought anything yet, but I wanted to make sure that you still loved us. If you could, just take a video and send it to me, or I can come out and we'll get a video. And then day 365, let your customer know that you're here to stay. This is 1 year after. Hey, I know you haven't bought anything from me yet. You might have bought something somewhere else. I just want to let you know that I'm not a flash in the pan sales guy. I'm the real deal. I'm going to be here now, next month, the month after, the year after, 10 years after, to serve you better than anybody else can in the 4 states. I just want you to know that. While I have you on the phone, is there any way we can go ahead and do business? And if not, who do you know that's next in line for a nice new pre-owned vehicle? If so, give me their cell phone and their name right now. And you do it every time, and you work that. It's a machine. You gotta eat it, you gotta work it to live. It's like eating for fuel. I've told everybody I lost a lot of weight. I don't eat for fun anymore. I'd love to. Don't get me wrong. I eat for fuel. Use this because it accomplishes something. It makes you stand out above and beyond. It gives you an opportunity to become an obsessed, dominating force within this market, and nobody else is willing to do it.
Give a hand. There's some things, we're gonna take a break here in just a second, but I was taking some notes, and funny thing is that it comes down to a couple of different things, okay? But one main thing, to be successful in this business, and you may want to write this down, to be successful in this business, you have to do the things that unsuccessful people are unwilling to do. You following me on that? To be successful in this business, you have to do the things that unsuccessful people are unwilling to do. We are all in many ways creatures of habit. And we do things simply because that's the way it's been done. Okay? You are not going into this business. Now, you've been in it for a while.
Yes.
Have you gained anything out of this? You go, dude, that's a, yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
All right, let me throw this out. At a family dinner, and you know I come from a very large family. One of the grandkids one of my grandkids went to their mom and said, "Mom, when you put this big old roast in the oven, you know, you always cut the end off from that thing. Why do you do that?" And she says, "Well, I don't know. That's the way my mother used to do it. And so if my mother does it that way, this is the way that I'm going to do it. 'Cause I always loved the way her roast is." Oh. She says, "But you may want to ask Grandma. She's here." And Grandma said, he goes, "Grandma, how come you cut the end of your roast off?" And she says, "I don't know. That's the way that my mother used to do it, and that's the way I'm going to do it." And so she said, "Well, why don't you ask Great Grandma? She's right over there." Goes to Great Grandma and says, "Great Grandma, how come Mom and Grandma cut the end of their roast off? They said they do it because that's the way you did it." And she says, "Well, I don't know why they're doing it, but my baking pan was too small, and so I had to cut the end of the roast off in order to make it work." Right? Remember the flea that we talked about yesterday?
Yes.
You get in a pattern, a habit of only going so high, and then you take them out of that and they still won't go any further. We become creatures of habit. Now, to be successful in this business, everything that we're showing you here, and have been for the past 3 days, including, and 4 days today, is if you're like a handy person around your home. My wife, you know what my wife got me for Christmas? A tool belt. She did. I promise you. First thing I put in it was a tape measure.
He's walking
Because
around.
it's got a pouch for it, right? And I'm thinking that's really cool.
You got a hammer.
That's really cool. And I can put a hammer over here, and I can put nails. And if I'm putting up Christmas lights, I have all the little doodads. I have to put them up. I don't have to get down and up, down and up. But we are creatures of habit. If you start out with bad habits,
You'll always have.
you'll only go so high. If you start out doing the things that everybody else does, you're gonna repeat the same things. The outcome is going to be exactly the same as what everybody else does. So you have to be willing to do the things that unsuccessful people are telling you all about. You know, they're unwilling to do, but they know it.
Have to go the extra mile.
You have to do the things that unsuccessful people are unwilling to do. It is now 11 o'clock, 11:10. Be back here.
I'm digging the Tabasco tie.
You like it?
I do.
Yeah. I don't know where I got that. But I used to be a tie guy. I probably got 50 ties. Maybe more. And then, I don't know why, but when I taught at OU, I wore Levi's, sneakers, and a Hawaiian shirt. And I would wear a Hawaiian shirt here, and I would put Fletcher Ford on it, and my name, if Frank had let me. He may if it's blue, you know. I don't know. Take a break.
I'm good. Are we gonna talk about backsliding?
That's, we'll go with 18. That's Nebraska.
Nebraska? Is that right? Is that today?
Yeah, that's my neighbor. My neighbor drives for, and, he got stuck last night in Nebraska.
Holy. That's
He
gotta,
was buried last
yeah,
night.
that's gotta be like
Yeah.
15,
Well, but,
13 feet.
but that's probably a drift.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah, but still, I mean,
Yeah, they had to cut into it.
God. That's crazy.
'Cause I asked him, because he's home every other night, so his wife's next door, you know, I make sure everything's okay. He's like, texting this morning, I'm like, you gonna be able to get home today? He's like, well, I'm working on it.
That's crazy. Nebraska, huh?
Yeah.
So is that moving towards us right now?
No, that went on east.
Oh.
Yeah, we didn't. I think that's where maybe some of our rain came from the other night, but we're not in the snow until, it's not this week, it's next week.
Oh, is it next weekend supposed to be?
Oh, good.
Oh, for the weather of this, coming around
Yeah.
this area?
Yeah, yeah, it's out another couple weeks.
I'd like a little bit of snow before this winter.
Well, and the temperature's so high, so I don't
Right.
know, it's gonna really do much in it.
Oh, you got the Weather Channel on
Oh, yeah. Where I used to work, I used to keep up with it quite a bit. And they're pretty accurate. I mean, like I say, they've already changed it to rain for that weekend.
the Weather Channel?
And next week, or tomorrow, they'll change it back to snow and they'll go back and forth. It seems like they have such a hard time predicting.
Well, I saw like a bunch of wind.
Yeah, yeah. Over here, they got it. And I think it's ferocious the last 2 days.
Hey, you wanted to friend me on Facebook. Did somebody, was there anybody in this class?
Are you on Facebook?
Yeah.
Friend you? How do you spell your last?
Just like bottle, but with a C.
Bottle with a C.
It's just Steve.
There he is.
Yeah, I think so.
Steve with an E?
With an E,
Oh, right
with a
there.
V.
Oh, we're gonna be friends.
There you go.
Okay.
You just got it.
And you might want to look at Brent Lobanoff's too. The reason being is that he always puts some really cool stuff out and let you know what's going on at the dealerships and all that. But he put some pictures on Facebook of,
Probably just friends requests.
Mr. Detroit.
but of this dealership and the dealerships in town in 2011. When we had a wall over here, we scraped all the lot off, and everything else, and we had a wall of snow and ice 30 feet high, about 20 feet thick, and about 40 yards long.
Man.
And it took till June for it to melt. It was really something. All right. Oh, something about the class too.
Everybody's on their phone, it's hilarious.
Don't even want to talk to each other in the same room. We both.
Oh, you know what's really funny about that is that I've seen people texting each other back and forth at the same table.
Right now?
No, I mean.
Oh, God. Well, sometimes you just gotta say something to somebody when nobody else can hear.
Well,
Classified information.
Yeah.
Roger Williams, I was sitting right there, and Roger Williams was sitting right here, and he said, I'll show you the texts. What's our password for the email? What's Brad Withenshaw's phone number? You know, oh, mercy. There was some, and then I had to take this off, because I got one that, a friend request last night, that said I had 30 mutual friends in common, you know? And I said, okay, and I hit it, and guess what? The person was naked.
Oh, oops.
Get it on.
Let's
Let's get it on.
That's right.
So you're into selfies?
What, you want to take a selfie with us?
No. I can't get my lips to do this.
I don't know. I look like a squirrel with like,
Chipmunk cheeks.
yeah. Or like I'm in the middle of chewing or something.
Blue Steel. Yeah, that's Blue Steel. I actually like Latigra. I use it for software catalogs.
I am gonna find a coffee, you know, one of these things that, it's a coffee cup, but it looks like it has real coffee in it. The spoon is standing straight up in there. I've seen them, but I gotta get one of those for John Kirby. I have to. We made some coffee over there, it's called Kirby coffee. That if you put a plastic spoon in it, it'll deteriorate.
What time we start back up again, then, brother?
3 minutes.
3 minutes.
The girls are back, so.
Wow.
Oh,
Tom's
wow.
back.
Holy
Hey.
smokes.
And Tom's back.
Hey, you show up like 14 minutes late one time, and I'm never gonna let you live it
Never,
down.
ever,
I'm taking my
ever.
shoes off.
Take those
They're clean. I
bad boys off.
just
Take them off.
I just got out of the shower like a while ago, so.
How's that sock game?
Hey, no holes, look at that.
It's on point.
Look at that, no holes in my socks. These are so comfortable.
Not your
Look at
Sunday
you.
socks.
See,
Oh,
it's-
those are
I
Oh,
My socks don't match.
boy.
See the hundo?
Marcus came in the other
Pretty
day
good
and he
stuff.
had American flag socks.
Yeah.
But I had to get some of those.
I think you guys have heard me teach for 2 days now, and you know that I don't own American flag socks or sparkly socks or.
You don't own an American flag?
I own an American flag. You should
guys
see the
take
inside of my
part.
Harley trailer.
Oh, okay.
I only wear my socks once.
What is it, dollar bills?
Huh?
And then what? Oh, dollar bills, look at that.
That's Under Armour
It's a good
too.
luck sock. Yep, right here.
Okay, I'm gonna start talking here just a little bit before I let these guys go.
I'm not sure.
To be successful in this auto business, and I said this just before break, you have to be willing to do the things that unsuccessful people are unwilling to do. Other auto groups are unwilling to invest this much time, this much money, this much talent into you. Because it comes down, you know, like Jim said, the 3 C's, it'd be like, yeah, see your name tag, see the lot, see you later with the customer, you know, that type of thing. And it's not that way here.
Then we hold you accountable. for
Then
what
we'll
you don't know.
How come you didn't? Ah. Hi, Gina.
All right, guys, let's get started again. I'm teaching the second segment about bare feet. If you'll do the unthinkable, you can achieve the impossible. That's what Steve was talking about. That's what Josh was telling you. All these tasks that you have to do, and if you'll just do this, you're going to be successful in the car business. The problem is, like I said in the first segment, is we're really good at church league softball. Let's pretend that you and your dad, when you're 7 years old, and your dad takes you to the park. And my dad used to make us kites because I told you on Monday, I lived in the poorest town in the poorest county in one of the poorest states in the United States, and I lived on the poor side of town. So my dad would take two switches, and he would skin the bark off of them, and he would twine the two switches together and get the Sunday paper, get the funny papers out of the Sunday paper. My dad made us a kite every spring. How many of you ever remember getting a kite made that way out of a newspaper? Yeah, see?
There you go.
We couldn't afford those fancy plastic kites. We had to
They
get.
didn't fly as well anyway.
What's that? The plastic ones?
They didn't fly as
Right.
well.
But he'd get the funny papers. He'd make this kite. I want you to imagine that you go down to the park with your dad the very first time, and you say, he says, "Son, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to take this string. I want you to take this flight, and I want you to take off running. And if you run fast enough, long enough, it's going to fly." Well, you're skeptical. You're 6 years old. You've never seen anything like that fly before. There's a triangle of two switches wrapped in the Sunday paper, and you're kind of embarrassed to even try to do it. So you take off a little bit, and you're running, and it's kind of dangling, hitting the ground, and he's like screaming from the hill, "Run faster! Run faster!" And you're like running a little bit faster, and it's going up about 10 feet and diving back down. And all your friends, who's they've never seen this either, they're sitting over there going, "You look ridiculous." And he's going, "Run faster, run faster." And he gets up like 25 feet, and you start slowing down a little bit, and what happens? And he's going, if you stop, you got to start over, keep running. And it gets up 25 feet. And 35 feet, and you're going, "Man, this thing's going up," and you're running harder and harder now, and just feeding line out, and 50 feet, and 100 feet, and 150 feet, and you stop, and you just start feeding it string, and you think, "Man,
Smooth sailing.
this thing's going up, and I'm not even doing anything anymore. I'm just standing here." If you'll do the unthinkable, you can achieve the impossible. What Josh was telling you about, that hard work, there's a day. Guys, I sell 12, 13, maybe 14 cars a month. Every month. When do you think the last time I made an owner follow-up call was? A regular, organized, printed my 742 owners off, got a blue highlighter out, and start making owner follow-up calls. When do you think the last time I did that was? 1995. 20 years ago. 20 years ago was the last time I sat down, and it was 20 years ago. The Gulf War was 30 years ago.
I know. Jim.
I don't know where I was.
Did you guys go to school together?
No, we're from the same town. We're from Galena. I met her Monday for the very, very first time.
Oh.
And I'm highlighting
That's a long
these
time. I know somebody.
owners. But my owners follow me everywhere I go. Because I'm sitting here going, "Man, this thing's going up and I'm not even doing anything anymore." My goal when I retire is to do what you do. And I think I can do what you do at about $150,000 a month and or a year and not have to work very hard. Because I know everybody. And everybody knows me. And I did all the hard work. That's what I'm going to ask you to do. Guys, on the handout that you just got, one of them says your daily checklist. Josh went over a really, really good daily checklist as far as owner follow-up. I'm going to go over a checklist to say, when I get, the problem is, remember the Zig Ziglar story I told you on Monday where he said, the problem with them biscuits is, Zig, they squatted to rise, but they got cooked in the squat. The problem is you get all this motivation and all this information, and then we say, go back to work, and you go, okay, I'm here, now what? And you're like trying to dig through all this stuff. Josh gave you a great example of what follow-up looks like for those of us that are serious about being in the practice of retail automobile sales. I'm going to go a little bit further and kind of step outside that follow-up. But you know what? If you are a professional salesperson, you have a goal. You have an annual goal of income, opportunities, and deliveries. You've got a monthly goal of income, opportunities, and deliveries. You've got a weekly goal of income, opportunities, and deliveries. And you have a daily goal of income, opportunities, and delivery. And you heard me say Monday. Your job, your primary responsibility is to put yourself in front of enough opportunity to accomplish those goals and demonstrate that opportunity at a rate of 80% or higher. Remember that? This is the new sheet that he just gave you. It should say part 2, your daily checklist. Guys, this is the first couple chapters of a book that I'm writing called The Road to 20 Cars a Month. So you got the first couple chapters of that book. So I just printed off what I had written and sent it to you. Okay? So your job is to get to work every single day. I used to take a blue highlighter and write down my goal on the top of monthly goal on the top of a piece of paper. And then I tracked how many opportunities I'd had the day before and how many opportunities I have left to accomplish my goal, because I believed in opportunity, not results of opportunity. I know how many opportunities it takes to get to my goal, and then I don't have to worry about if somebody's got bad credit, or if somebody has negative equity, or if somebody's just kicking tires, or I don't have to worry. All I need is a number count, and that I demonstrated a rate of 80%, and I write up half my demos, and I deliver half my write-ups. I don't care if they buy or don't buy. Some will, some won't. So what? Someone's waiting. That's Joe Verdi. I need to talk to 62 people this month, and however I get there, and everything's going to be okay if I get there. So what do we do when we get to work? Nothing in sales is more important than being organized. Nothing in sales is more important than being organized, right? If you are walking around with a shirt pocket full of business cards with customers' names and telephone numbers on it, you're probably missing 5 deals a month. You're probably missing 10 deals a month. Let's take a look at daily activities that professional salespeople must accomplish to maximize their success. Number 1, follow up on all unsold prospects. Josh told you exactly how to follow up unsold prospects. Did he or did he not?
Yes.
You don't ever get to, you have been permanently stained. What?
Scarred.
Scarred. You know what? You never get to say, you never ever get to say, nobody told me that. Because I get to say, I was there. I heard him tell you that. You don't get to come to my sales tower after 2 weeks of sales training and say, you never told me that. I go get your workbook where you took notes, and I'll show you the exact time that I not only told you, but I made you write something down. You've been permanently stained with that information. What you choose to do with it is your business. Follow up all unsold prospects. The best prospect is the one that just left your dealership without purchasing a car. Right? Remember, 78% of the people that go out looking for a car buy one. 100% follow-up is the key. You must have a minimum of the prospect's name, address, cell phone number, email address. Use good scripts. And here's the key. Don't skip names. That guy was kind of a douche. I'm not calling him. Guess what? He was a douche to every salesperson that he met before you and after you. You're going to be the one that calls him back.
Conflict is opportunity.
Woo!
Boom, shot.
Preach it. Joe Verdi says that we miss countless unit sales and commissions are lost every month by playing guess who the buyer is. The fact is that 33% of your opportunities will come back with good follow-up. Right? And we'll close them at a rate of 67%, 2 out of 3. Follow up till they buy, they die, or tell you to quit calling. Number 2, that's the first thing you do when you come in every day. There's nothing more important than that. That's the best source of business that you're going to have today, the guy that left without purchasing. Right? Yes. Number 2, check your wish list. Guys, I keep good records. If you keep good records, You will always have a list of people looking for a car for their teenage son, a dually for the family, a little car to get back and forth to work. Walk your stock, your pre-owned stock, and new car stock daily and match your customer with your inventory. Dealer trades are too expensive and take too much energy when most people will buy a car from stock with a little salesmanship. Plain and simple. Are you, Josh? Josh wants to faint. For God, guys, we've got 3,000 cars in Joplin. But we don't say light color or dark color, basic transportation, something a little nicer. We're order takers. Come in. Now, what color of Camry would you like, and what package would you like, and would you like the? So I'm going to go search the world over and bring a car in that got scuffed by the driver, or he hit a pigeon on the way there, and the customer's not going to take it anyway because it's got a star in the window now. And now all I'm going to be able to do is go down on the price to get him to take a car that I'm not going to make any money on. A sale is 80% emotion and 20% logic. I'm going to match my customers with the cars that I have available so I can sell them a car right now. That makes sense?
Yes.
Dealer trades are too expensive and there's too much energy when they're going to buy from stock. Call your wish list customers periodically, even if you don't have a car right now. It's called freezing the customer. They need to know that you're still working for them, and they need to understand it's to their benefit to wait on you. So while we're sitting here, I got 3 calls, referral calls, while Josh was teaching. 3. The assistant, the athletic director of Riverton High School called me and said, and I got to tell you, the last conversation he and I had wasn't pleasant. It was not pleasant. I had an issue with Sunday practices, and we had a very heated exchange. But you know what? If the guy's looking for a car, you only got one person to call. And he goes, hey, listen, I'm looking for a 4,000 or 5,000 very old Sequoia or 4Runner. I know you don't trade for. I said I trade for them every day. We get stuff like that in all the time. But listen, don't go out there and pay $8 or $9 grand. Wait for me. Let me find you one. Every good Toyota in Joplin, Missouri is traded in at my store. That's fine. I'll wait for you. I'm waiting for your call. Freeze your customer. Make sure that they know it's to their benefit for them to wait on you. When I'm talking to a customer on the phone and they go, hey, we're looking for something. Do you want something really clean, low mileage, good maintenance history, or what? No, just any piece of shit will do, Jim. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? But if you lead the question by saying, so you're looking for something like well-maintained, a good pedigree, super well maintenance, a nice clean car, or they're going to say what? Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Good. Then you owe it to yourself to wait till I get one in. We get cars like that in all the time. We know the service history. We can know that if the car's well maintained or not. I just don't want you to go out there and get caught in the trap of those dealers up and down the street that can sell them for $1,000 less. What did I tell them? The cars, hey, you can go buy one cheaper.
But they're crap.
Right. You know what I said? I always tell customers about 70% of the cars that we trade for, we don't keep. We put them through our shop. We have a very comprehensive, rigorous inspection. If they don't make muster, we wholesale them to dealers, like the ones up and down 7th Street that sell them for $1,000 or $2 less.
For that reason.
For that reason. Right?
Yes.
Which we do. There's so many cars that we wholesale that I wish we didn't wholesale. But we do. Because we play the odds. We're a big company.
Only want the best.
What's that?
I said only
Right.
want the best.
Excuse me. Okay, check your wish list. Number 3, owner follow-up. 99% of your customers will buy more cars if we give them the opportunity, yet 82% of the people don't remember their salesperson's name after 1 year. We have to follow up with our owner base. Every single owner must be followed up with at least once a quarter. And I'm not going to go into how I follow up with owners because I don't know that I could have done it to even talk about a better job than what Josh did in the last hour. Because he hit that hard and heavy. New business prospecting. We talked about it today, right? This is your daily checklist. Call back your unsold customers. Check your wish list. Do your owner follow-up. Do your prospecting effort. Turn the page. Take time to train every day. Product and skills training is a must in our business. If you've ever heard an old timer say, "Son, you forgot more about the car business than I'll ever know," or "I forgot more about the car business than you'll ever know," he's right. He forgot. He's absolutely right. Vehicles change all the time. New options, new models require us to stay on top of an ever-changing inventory. You're the expert. If you hear somebody say, "These customers are smart," these customers, they got the internet. They got the Facebook. They got the consumer reports. They know more about the car than you guys know when you get there. Then shame on you, expert in the auto industry. Right? I hear a salesperson say, "Boy, these guys are smart these days. These guys know way more about this car than I do." Then I need to fire you. You need to not work here. You're supposed to be the expert. She was Joe Jackson. You're the expert. Know what you sell. Know what your competitive advantages are with your product and competition. Your selling skills are just as important. Role-playing walkarounds, bypassing objections, practice desking deals and securing commitments in writing with the customers. The more you learn, the more you earn. There you go. The more you earn, the more you earn. The more you learn, the more you earn. There you go. That's some of you. Then be up. Be mentally and physically prepared to take an opportunity. We can get so busy on our daily activities that we forget the most important objective is to put yourself in front of a prescribed number of people today and every day, right? Then email and mail that works. Every opportunity that leaves the dealership gets a thank you card or email. I'm not going to go into that. Josh covered that exhaustively. If you'll turn the page to the back and then we're going to come back, there are some examples of emails that says email and email follow-up part 4. That says, "Who can remember the 8 ingredients of a Big Mac sandwich?" That's right, 2 all beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun. We talked about advertising working through repetition, and I've got little examples of some emails that I used to send out and the timeline that I sent it out. Here's the good news for you, salespeople of the future of 2015, 16, whatever the heck it is. Here's the wonderful thing that you have that we didn't have. You have Dealer Socket. And you know what? And if you're going to the Dodge store, did anybody ever see the movie Rain Man?
Love that movie.
That dude right there is Rain Man. I'm gonna say not the most handsome, not the most charismatic, not probably the overall best guy in the auto group, but
He's got the best sauce.
but the most intelligent man in the auto group. That guy right there. And you know what? I know. You know what? I'm not trying to feed his ego. I'm saying that this guy, on the F&I desk, there's a lot of things that I'm really good at. Like Liam Neeson talks about, I have a special particular set of skills, and it's about this big, right? That's me. I've got. Don't ask me to come fix your toilet or do any hard plumbing or don't ask me to talk internet code with you. Josh, on the other hand, gets off on learning all the backdoor secrets of whatever CRM or dealer check. He used to call me, when we worked together, he used to call me Shotgun Sam. And the reason he could call me Shotgun Sam is because I wasn't a finance guy. I was a general manager, and every once in a while when I had to submit deals, it was easy. You put all the information in and you just start clicking lenders. Click, 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 click. And he's like, easy, Shotgun Sam there. This lender does this, and this lender does this. These 18 submissions, you didn't even need them. They're never going to buy this in a million years anyway. This deal, you didn't even need to submit. You need to submit. So this guy is going to set up your CRM system, your dealer socket system, and it's going to tell you every day what you got to do anyway. Does that make sense?
What exactly is a dealer socket?
You will
Dealer
find out this
socket,
afternoon.
Dealer socket is our customer relationship management tool that's going to say, you need to call Bob Smith, and you need to send Sally Jenkins this email, and you need to do this, and blah, blah.
That's a real person.
Oh, is it? Well,
Yes.
Okay. Bob Smith's probably a real person too.
Galena.
Yeah. Bob Smith's probably a real person too. Guys, if you will set a goal, which you did, right?
Yes.
And you will follow your daily checklist every day without fail, no exceptions, as Paul Cummins would say, you'll be successful.
Make it a habit.
Right? Here's the problem. Remember the first day when I told you that 90% of the people get in our industry are back out in the first year? Mm-hmm. Did you know that before you all come and sit down, there was a 30-minute conversation with every general manager and Steve Cottle and the VP, whether or not we were going to tell you that? Leo said, I spent.
Leo about freaked.
I thought he was going to have a nervous breakdown. Then I'm going to tell them all to go home. I go, no, Leo, you got to understand, the reason that people fail in the car business is because this never happens. The people that fail is saying, here's your cards. Matter of fact, here's my cards. I want you to do me a favor. Scratch my name out and write your name above it. Okay, that's your business card for about 90 days until we see if we want to make that $11.40 investment in your future. Honest to goodness. And we said that people fail because they get little or no training, right?
Right.
Would you say you've got little or no training, yes or no?
No.
No.
We said people fail because they don't have a clear understanding of opportunity. Do you think you've gotten a clear understanding of opportunity this week? Crystal clear, right? And then the last thing was poor time management. There was 4 things. Poor time management. Do you think that we've gave you the tools that you can start on day one and you know exactly through a daily worksheet what you're supposed to be doing today and every day for the rest of your career? Right. Finally, and most importantly, it was the people fail with an inability to maintain a positive selling attitude. What time is it, Steve?
11:30, something.
Attitude, is it 11:30?
Yes.
5 minutes then, Josh, and then we're going to get together. Attitude is everything. See where the page that says the perpetual state of motivation? I want to hit the highlights. Attitude is everything. A positive selling attitude is the fiber of this and any other industry. Your attitude can lead you down the road of professional greatness in this industry, or it can take you right back out the door. In 15 years, I cannot count the times that a number of highly skilled salespeople that I've seen fail in our industry solely based on their inability to maintain a positive selling attitude. Here are a few keys to keep yourself in a perpetual state of motivation. Zig Ziglar said, somebody came to my conference one time and they said, Zig, I want to tell you something. Every single time I get to feeling down, I take one of your tapes, I pop it in the stereo. Speaking from tapes, yeah. Pop it into my stereo, and you pick me right back up again. Zig says, well, what'd you take it out for? Mm-hmm. It'd be like having a money machine. And if you knew if you were cranking the money machine, cranking it the wrong way. I'm cranking the money machine, and then down there where Rhonda's sitting, the money starts coming out. I go, oh my God, there's money coming out of this machine. I start gathering up all the money. Well, guess what's not happening?
Money.
Not making money.
It's not rolling. I'm going to have to figure out a way to get this hand on the crank and put a bucket down there collecting the money. Because you have to be in a perpetual state of motivation.
Can't stop.
You can't stop. You got to be in a good mood every day. We talked about that, right? About how you control your attitude. Number 1, recognize that your attitude is your responsibility. Right? Yes. I'm going to let you read that. Number 2, the easiest way to keep yourself in a perpetual state of motivation is to listen and read something, anything that you can get in your hands that will encourage you. I'm going to let you read that. Zig Ziglar says, every morning when I wake up, I read the Bible and the newspaper. I just want to know what both sides are up to. Guys, I'm going to tell you what. I told you if you read 30 minutes a day on something industry related, by the end of the first year, you will be an expert in your field. I put a list of my favorite authors and favorite books. And finally, stop thief. We would never sneak into our office in the middle of the night and rifle through our coworkers' desk and steal their money. When we step into a huddle and participate into a negative, destructive conversation that destroys morale and creates cancer on the sales floor, there is little difference. Negative conversations on the sales floor have destroyed more departments and sales teams than anything else in the dealership today. Just walk away. Don't even listen. You, the professional automotive salesperson, have far better things to do. Guarding your thoughts and your attitudes are the keys to your success in this industry. Realizing that attitudes are choices and that we make on a daily basis can help you begin to develop characteristics of a true sales professional. Keep yourself in a perpetual state of motivation. All right? Then you've got that email follow-up stuff there you can take a look at. And then, guys, I want you to read. See where it says the first chapter of this book we didn't cover? I want you to read it. It's 11:30 right now, right?
Yeah, 11, yeah.
It's 11:30 right now. I don't know where Kirby's at. There he is. Josh, I'm bringing you a chair. It's Q&A time.
I had the opportunity to visit my father, who lived in Texas, about 6 months before he died. And he asked me if I wouldn't come because he knew he was dying of cancer. And one of his friends, who lived in Fort Worth, was there visiting him. And I went, and I was there, and he said, "Steve, I would like to introduce you to an old friend of mine. His name is Zig Ziglar." Yeah.
How cool would that have been?
And I said, "I know that you're here for a personal visit, but I really want to know something." And he said, "Okay." I said, "Do you believe that you'll get everything in life that you want if you help enough other people get what they want?"
Yes, sir.
And he said, "Without a doubt."
Yeah.
I have lived my life in that manner, and the returns have been greater than I've ever imagined. And that's all I said. And then I listened to two old guys talk.
How fun would that have been? I think that's the prelude to you listening to two old guys talk. Zig Ziglar's mission statement was for his company, you can have anything in life you want as long as you help enough other people get what they want. His cultural statement was something completely different than that. And in my company, I have a mission statement, and in my company, I have a cultural statement. His cultural statement was this: if you do the things you have to do, when you have to do them, the day will come when you can do the things you want to do when you want to do them. And that's what we're doing this for. Isn't it? Questions?
Come on.
Come on. You got 30 minutes. You got
Who wants to go down to the CDJ store?
Come on, Mark.
So I have a customer. He's drove from Florida with his family. He's retiring. He's gonna have, he drove by several lots on his way by. He found his car. It was cherry red Dodge Charger. That's what he's gonna retire in. I don't have a cherry red Dodge Charger. How do I get him in something that I've got? Or do I freeze him and tell him I'm gonna get him one?
We're talking about new Dodge Charger?
Yeah.
I'll answer and then I'll let Josh answer. My objective is always to match the least expensive vehicle that best suits the customer's wants and needs. And when he says, this is the car I want, I just don't want a black one, I'm gonna say, Bob, I got great news. I checked just the other day because I had a customer that had the same concern. The black ones drive just like the red ones. And you know what? I'm gonna take that guy on a dynamic demonstration and presentation. And when I get back from the demonstration ride, I may use an assumptive close or what's called a sharp angle close. I'm gonna say, you like the way it drove? You like the way it handled? Oh, I love the way it handled. Everything's perfect but the color, is that right? And he says, yes. Right, so other than this being dark cherry red, there wouldn't be any reason that we couldn't get this one worked out today, right? He says, yeah, if it was red, I'd take it. I'm ready to go to the closing desk because I'm gonna let Josh show my customer the benefits of buying that black one. And if as worst case scenario, we have to go get him a red one, right? but we're not gonna freeze him or tell him to come back when we get a red one. We're gonna sell him a car right now. What do you say?
Serve, 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 and then once you get to the closing desk, you ask them a simple question, and you'll understand if the red really is necessary. And you say, if I could save you enough green, would you consider the black? Or is the red absolutely necessary? And you'll see their motive real quick. Well, let's see what we can do on the black. And
I've had so many people say, there's no way I'd drive a
you
blue
have,
car.
yeah, you have to do it though after you build value.
Absolutely.
After you make them love it, after they've touched, they've felt, they've driven, they love everything about it. That's when you have to ask that question. If you ask it on the upfront, you're dead in the water. No, I want a red one. There's 1,000 other dealerships, there's 1,000 other cars. I want a red one. Do it then, do it right, and you can sell that car a lot of times.
I don't know if we talked about in the meeting, in training, giving a customer assurance and giving them out. There's a trainer named Paul Cummins who owns a company called Level 10. And he says a customer will stay longer if they don't feel a heavy-handed commitment to have to stay longer. Like, hey, I'm confident we're gonna find just the right car for you. If it's not the right car, gosh, I wouldn't expect you to buy it. You know, if the payment's too high, well, if the payment's too high, I'm not gonna buy it. Gosh, if the payment's too high, I wouldn't expect you to buy it. That lets you keep you never want a stop sign. Just like Josh said, serve, 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 go, 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 until you can't go anymore, and go get Josh or I, and we'll keep the customer going. That answer your question?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Keep the ball rolling forward. You don't sell customers you don't write up. You don't sell customers you don't demo. Your job is to select the least expensive car, get them on a demonstration drive, get them to the desk. That's what sells cars. Those steps.
It's all about information for me. I want to be the hardest, most aggressive, most out there, crazy soft sell in the world.
Exactly.
Last night at Walmart, ran into my friend, said, hey, I'm selling cars. She said, hey, I'm looking. I've got
Sounds like a start of a beautiful relationship.
Well, and she goes, I've got terrible credit though, and I go, you know what, come on by, I think we can help you out. I have no idea what to do, so. I mean, do we do bad credit?
Yeah, absolutely we do.
Okay.
I mean,
We better.
it depends on how crazy you want to get out there. I mean, my response, you know, I've told people, heck, I got bad credit. It's okay. Come on in, we'll get you into a car. I don't have any bad. I don't have bad credit.
You don't have bad credit.
So, but
So it basically, Josh
regardless,
is saying,
the whole thing
start a
is
relationship with the lie.
everybody has had bad credit at some point. I mean,
You start out with bad credit.
you start out with bad
You don't
credit.
have any debt, you have bad
You know,
credit.
I bought my first car with bad credit. I went through a dark time years ago and I had bad credit. You know what I did? Bought a car. I bought a car.
You had to go from this
I
place
had to
to
get
that
from
place.
point A to point B. So a lot of times it's a will, there's a way. And something that's unique to the Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep superstores that I have CAC, which is 100% guaranteed approval if you have a little bit of cash down. So
Also,
don't ever be afraid of bad
don't,
credit.
you know, my canned response is, I was sitting at breakfast the other day, and Josh does a great job with the secondary market, and we're doing a much better job with the secondary market, because one of the things that we identified at Toyota was, we're snobs. We're snotty, and
I can attest to that.
yeah, and you know what? And I wouldn't. It was beneath us to advertise to people with bad credit, and the reason, because we were, and I say we, I was really worried about how diminishing our brand, how advertising to the secondary market would diminish our brand in the ways that I see the secondary market advertised to. And this is the great debate that Josh and I have had since we met each other. It's fun. You
10
got
years.
yeah. Be in a room when him and I are sharing a beer, because we're not fun people. All we do is talk about the car business. But we've had some great dialogues about this. Because
State.
but you know what? When I think of secondary financing, I think of Roper Kia. And I think of a guy dressed like a Jack Frost, and he's talking about, hey, you deadbeat, derelict, bankrupt, divorced, blah. And that's what that sounds like to me when they're advertising. And I go, I need to advertise to this market, but I
With
got
a little respect.
with dignity.
Yeah.
So we did a TV ad and a radio ad this month for the first time that says, I'm sitting at breakfast with my buddy Brett Warshler, who owns Warshler Excavating, and I said, I've just got to figure out a way to tell people that their credit's not as bad as they think it is. And he goes, well, just say that. I go, say what? Just say your credit may not be as bad as you think it is.
Kiss.
The realist.
Guess what? This month, we were 12th in the region in Toyota sales. We were number 3 in the region in trucks, number 3 in the region in Scion, and we probably wrote 40 deals out of 167 deals that were subprime. Because we got on the radio and we got on TV and said, hey, your credit may not be as bad as you think it is. That's my response. When somebody says, I got really bad credit, I go, hey, it may not be as bad as you think it is. The worst thing to say is no, come on in, let's try. This all got spawned by a customer of mine 3 weeks ago who came in, who totaled her Avalon. And she came in, she goes, I need to get a new camera. I'm really embarrassed. This was a friend of mine. I'm really embarrassed, but my credit's not that good. I said, well, where'd you buy your Avalon? It was a 13 Avalon. 13 that got totaled. I go, where'd you buy your Avalon? Well, I bought it at the Kia store. I go, why didn't you come here to look at an Avalon? She goes, because they have programs to help people with bad credit. That's when I knew that Josh Kirby was right. That's when I knew that I had
Those things are hard to swallow. Come on.
to grow our business at Toyota. We're going to have to figure out a way to sell cars to the entire market, not just our snotty, pretentious 700 and 800 Beacon Toyota customers, right?
That segment of the market is more work, because it is a lot of times fitting a square peg in a round hole per se. But it's also, on the other side, a lot more fulfilling. When you have somebody that really has true desires, a lot of people who've had less than perfect past, but now have a capacity and an obligation to themselves and a family to change, and you're able to help them along that journey. It's a really fulfilling, great feeling.
Who are they gonna tell?
Everybody.
Everyone.
They're also the easiest people to get repeats and referrals. So every time I do one like that, I put down a referral sheet with 100 names on it. I get about 60 on average. Names and cell phone numbers at the point of sale. Do me a favor. I can help your friends just like I helped you. Write down their names and cell phone numbers. Go through your contact. We'll be in finance about 20 minutes. I get about 60 names per.
Send them a text. Tell them Josh is going to be calling. Because they get to come scratch our referring board. My girlfriend referred referred the school secretary, Carl Junction. They came over and bought a new 4Runner. This is the girl that lives in my house. Yes, I know it's 2015. It's 2015. 16. Whatever it is, it's okay.
Different rooms, though, right?
Right,
Okay.
definitely different room. I never seen somebody so excited about scratching $100 in my whole life as she was. She was giddy. She was thrilled. And then David Kyle, who's the principal at Carl Junction, the secretary and my girlfriend were fighting over who was going to get the referral because they both sent him over to the store to buy a Toyota. And they're like, no, that was my referral. That was my referral. And I go, Christy, you don't really need any referrals. You know that, right? Yeah. Let her have the
Thank God Ron Davis retired.
girlfriend, not wife.
Yeah. No differentiation
Yes,
here.
there is. I read the memo.
It was court ordered, wasn't it?
Gotta be another question out here somewhere.
Yeah, come on.
Yes.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. Biggest thing I'm intimidated about right now is like the whole engine part. We were doing the walk around. Is there gonna be somebody that can like teach me the basics?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say something. And I'm gonna let Josh say something. I'm gonna tell you this. I'm not a car guy. I'm not a car guy. I don't like cars. I don't get excited about cars. When something new comes out, I'm like, it's a car. I'm not a car guy.
Okay.
If I sold washing machines, I would learn as much about washing machines as I could learn to give a great demonstration presentation on a washing machine, and I would be just as enthusiastic and excited about selling a washing
I
machine.
mean, I've been looking at YouTube videos on the how to do that.
You're doing awesome, because you know
Okay.
what? Very few people are gonna come in and say, could you tell me how many feet-pounds of torque and how much, very few people are gonna ask that question. You need to have the working knowledge of that car, and every factory has great resources to give you that working
Because I'm more
knowledge.
of a hands-on, like,
Right.
instead of like.
Are we gonna have like a training thing at our store? that
Yes.
we-
There will
For
be
sure,
training
100%.
every day
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
various subjects.
But more importantly than having all the like technical acumen of, you know, an encyclopedia, is to connect with somebody on a personal level. Their
Right.
hot buttons, what they're trying to accomplish, what it's gonna do that the last one didn't, and et cetera. And then communicate that in the simplest way possible, which doesn't need to talk about spark plugs a lot of times, or differentials, or anything else. It's just simply being human and connecting on a human level about how it's gonna help fulfill their wants and needs, desires.
I'm just afraid of getting like
That make sense?
the all-American truck guy that's like, oh, what's the and I'm like, I don't know.
You know what I do? If I get the all-American truck guy, I just bat my eyes and smile. That's what I do personally.
Right.
What you guys want to do is your business. That I do is, you know what though? I tell people, I'm not a truck
The
guy.
all-American truck guy knows everything about that truck.
Yeah, he does.
He
He
doesn't
does.
have to really
And you know
work
what?
too
And the truth. Here's the
But
truth.
with a female, you think she's gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna see what she.
You know what
Yeah,
though?
everybody wants to know what she knows.
And let me tell you
Then
what.
go get the truck guy that's really good at trucks inside.
You've got,
He'll explain
you're in
it.
both a tremendous disadvantage and an advantage.
Yeah.
Right.
Let me tell you what, if you
Depending.
learn everything you want to know about a Dodge Ram, or you going to Dodge,
I
you
know.
learn everything you want to know about a Dodge Ram truck, and if I were you for the next, well, all three of you, for the next 3 weeks, I would know, I would be able to explain the C-channel frame and how they put it. I would learn everything you could know. I'd learn
Towing
torque,
capacity,
towing capacity, blah, blah, blah. I'd
payloads.
learn it all, because I'll guarantee you,
Impressive.
if you did a walk around with a truck guy and you start spitting that stuff out and knew what you might get a proposal. Through like, where have you been all my life? That's what you might
He
get.
didn't say married.
Give me the ring.
But with that kind of knowledge, when you sit down closed, you're gonna get less argument.
Here's what I like. Knowledge instills confidence, confidence instills power. And the more I know, the more power I have. And I want to know it inside and out. Every one of your manufacturers, where you go, Nissan, Toyota, Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, if you come to the Ford store, at Toyota, we have Toyota University, Chrysler has something similar, Nissan has something similar, and you have to be a certified representative, you've got to watch videos, you've got to take tests, and you're gonna get the knowledge base that you need to get. Again, you're in the practice of it. This is a continuing education kind of deal. We're not done here after 4
Right.
days.
I know that the more I know, the more confident I will be. So that's why I'm like, put my daughter to bed, watching YouTube videos of the spark plug and the.
Wasn't
No,
that a-
believe me, you will get this
The
stuff.
more you know.
The more you know.
College
Dun, dun,
testing.
dun. It was NBC's, yeah. The more you know.
Yeah.
When I first, I'll give you a great example of this. When I first met my girlfriend, I'm a book geek. I am a book geek. And you know what? Here's how I'm such a book geek, because here's what Josh Kirby tells me all the time. You know what? Nobody wants to hear 15 minutes of every conversation we have with you, what book you happen to be reading right now. Yeah, just right now. Because whatever I'm reading right now, like this Poverty and Education, I'm so excited about it. I shared a little bit
You're
there.
selling
But
them a book on it.
that's what I'm passionate about. So she's a librarian. So the first time I met her, the first time we went out, we spent 3.5 hours talking about, I was telling her, hey, I'm freshly divorced, I really don't have any game, I haven't dated in 30 years, I don't know how to do this, blah, 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 blah. And then we talked about YA books for 3 hours. And then when she got ready to leave, she said, and you said you didn't have any game. But you know
Aw.
what? That was her passion. That was her passion. It was like you learning everything about a truck. And
He's
then
the reason I don't watch Game of Thrones.
Because I've told you how it ends.
Oh my God.
My first year of teaching at the University of Oklahoma,
It's not
that.
teaching.
Was that hard to swallow, Jim?
No, I think I just dripped it all, very professionally dripped my slobber all the way down my
Good
forehead.
job.
Go ahead.
My mentor told me this. you got an awful lot of knowledge. Don't try to teach them everything you know in the first week, because you won't have anything else to talk about, all right? In this business, you're not car people, you're people, okay? You will answer the questions a lot with a question. The foot, the torque, blah, 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 is, but let me ask you a question. Why is the torque so important to you? What made you ask that question? Huh? And they're gonna tell you.
Or what is torque?
You gotta figure out the why.
So the deal is that you, Jeremy, are a car guy, okay? And I've told you, you have to temper that, because you don't wanna go out there and tell them every specification on every nut and bolt and all that type of stuff. What you wanna do
I told them about
is
it.
you wanna become a people person.
Entonizing, that's what we used to call it.
I'm a great people's person.
Then you'll go far.
Who else?
Stop trying to sell a car. If you're a great people
Yeah.
person, just try to
Yeah.
be a people person.
That's right.
Give,
Follow
you get
the
everything in return.
steps.
I really believe that
Follow
about
the
everything.
steps. Give them assurance and give them an out. Give them an out
Yesterday-
every single time.
Sorry, Jim, didn't mean to interrupt. Yesterday, they talked about a sweep, and the first thing, or one of the things that you ask a customer when they come in, do you have an appointment with somebody? What if they say?
I don't ask my people that.
Okay,
You come to the Chrysler store, I'm not gonna put a customer on that kind of stage when it's my duty, my obligation to serve them to the best of my ability, and my staff to do the same.
okay.
If they wanted to talk to somebody, or if they had an appointment, they're going to tell me. If they're not telling you that they're here for you, you didn't do a good enough job. Grow up, put on your big boy pants, and get over it.
Yep.
That's
We
all there is to it.
kind of we talked before you got here. I'm not the sheriff. I might ask somebody, "Hey, are you here to see someone?" And if they go, "Yeah, I need to see Bob," then I'm gonna go get Bob. But that's the only question you're gonna get from me is, "Hey, are you here to see someone?" If Jerry Crease used to say, "Have you ever got a letter from us? Have you ever got a phone call from us? Has anybody ever corresponded?" Dude, I'm out. When I was selling cars, I might have got skated 6 or 8 times a month. And I never complained about getting skated. I never one time stormed into a dealership and said, "You stole my customer." I had a rule. My customers walked in with my flag, and they planted my flag in the showroom. And if you walked up to one of my customers and they said, "I'm here to see Jim Adams." "Well, Jim's off today. Let me help you." "Nope. I'll just plant my flag and stay here until he's done." And if they didn't plant my flag, it wasn't my customer. And I never got mad at somebody for stealing one of my customers. I might get mad at myself for not making an impression on that customer.
Great
So-
enough.
Huh?
Dominating, separating yourself from
Right.
everybody else.
To where they would want to stay.
Nobody sold my customers but me, and if somebody else sold them, they weren't my customer. I never got mad at one other person.
That's exactly right.
I serve at Longhorn, and I have regulars that come in to see me every week. There's a few that said, "Yeah, hey, I'll come back and see you," and then the next time they're in there was someone else, and they knew I was working, and that's kind of how I think about it. Is, you know what? If I would have been a better server to them, they would have remembered who I was.
Absolutely.
Then they would have asked.
And it's not the
You were a good waiter. You weren't a world-class, one-of-a-kind, no ifs, ands, or buts, the best I've ever had.
Exactly.
right.
No one to blame but yourself about everything.
Yeah.
And it's every day.
I got a cell phone gal named Catherine that works on Range Line at the US Cellular store, and when I left US Cellular to go to Verizon, it was kind of heartbreaking. Because I didn't feel like I was leaving US Cellular. I could give 2 craps at US Cellular, but she was such a good cell phone person and Verizon has terrible service, customer service. They just have better service. Anyway, what time is it?
11:59.
11:59. Guys, thank you for allowing me the opportunity to come down here and spend time. I really, really appreciate it. You and I should just start doing videos of us just sitting and talking.
Culture.
We'll call it
Your own YouTube channel.